The phrase pros pro, this applies to Leon as well, phrase pros pro is tossed around all too often these days. Its overuse tending to diminish the impact it would have if used more judiciously, but we can use it twice tonight, and we use it completely properly in stating that Jim Sobb is a pros pro. Ask any member at Ivanhoe. Jim has been the head professional there since, well, before it was Ivanhoe, back when the club was at Thorngate. He became the head professional there in 1989 after assistant stints at Chapel Hill, Green Acres, and a short time as head man in Highland Park, right around the corner from Exmoor. It's 27 years now for Jim working for the same membership, a testament to a job well done, especially when you have that many bosses. It can also be said for his game, a job well done. He has been on the leaderboard since he was at Palatine High School, where a youngster named Jim Sobzinski, thank you for shortening it to make headline writers happy, was getting his name in headlines, either as part of the field in the inaugural Illinois Junior Amateur or firing for the pin for the Palatine Pirates. In 1972, he was the area's Junior Golf Player of the Year. High school golf was a spring sport then, which gave Jim the time in the fall to play football for the Pirates, first at tight end and then as a senior at quarterback. And oh, if we could have only gotten the pictures that I found in the microfilm for the Daily Herald. For this young lad named Gibber, the nickname was, a standout signal caller throwing for 4 touchdowns in one game against Wheeling. Jim, you remember that night? A Friday night, probably raining like it is out there tonight. Then it was off to Western Illinois for more education and now just golf. And 2 Division II All-America honors. And after 4 years in Macomb, the start of a professional career that has gone from strength to strength. Jim considers what he does at his club to be more important than anything else, whether it's teaching or just passing wisdom to his membership, but his influence has been felt well beyond Ivanhoe's Sylvan Acres. More than a few assistants have worked under him and become head professionals elsewhere thanks to his mentoring. That's one of the reasons Jim was awarded the Illinois Section's Bill Strasbaugh Award in 2012. Twice, he has gotten the section's highest honor, Illinois PGA Professional of the Year. He's been a finalist for National Professional of the Year, and he's not done knocking on that door. He spent 11 years on the Illinois PGA Board and was on several committees, helping his fellow professionals. And all that behind-the-scenes service mentality is combined with a tenacious attitude when the first ball is struck in anger. Oh, can this old quarterback play? The Illinois PGA Player of the Year in 2000. He holds the record for appearances in the Radix Cup as a professional, 22 starts with a 13-5-4 record, and that record will be extended next year. He's teed it up 5 times in the old Western Open, played in a pair of U.S. Senior Opens, 2 Senior PGA Championships. He's won 7 state majors, 3 of them Illinois PGA Championships, 4 of them Illinois PGA Match Play Championships. Only 6 players, 5 of them in this Hall of Fame, have won more, and now he gets to join them. In 2011, 16 years after his last match play title, he won the match play again, the longest stretch between titles by anyone in Illinois major, and also won the senior match play that year. Nobody else has won both in the same year. He's now a 3-time senior match play winner, repeated the senior PGA section title this year. We need an odometer on your plaque, man. Bringing the total in that championship to 4. Small wonder then that he's been the senior player of the year now on 5 occasions. Put it this way, if it is match play, you don't want to see his name against yours in the day's bracket. If it's stroke play, you can be excused for hoping for a rainout. You could go on with the numbers and the successes. Jim has. Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring him up with a standing ovation. Jim Sobb.
Thanks, Tim, for the kind words. I'm overwhelmed and somewhat speechless, much like the night on May 13th when I got the call at 9:20 that night that I had made the Hall. Thanks, Tim, for that phone call. And I kind of let my wife know that night, Tina, that, and Abby was home from college, and I said, you know, if we get a call tonight, it's going to be a good one. And sure enough, caller ID said Tim Cronin, and when Tim called me out and said I was in, I was just totally speechless. But I will do my best tonight to keep it as short as possible, but obviously you only get one chance at this, and there's a lot of people I want to thank and acknowledge, so please bear with me. Thank you to everyone here at the Glen Club tonight for coming out to support my good friend and fellow PGA member, Mr. Leon McNair, of course, the legendary H. Chandler Egan, and myself. What a thrill for me tonight to be inducted alongside two gentlemen who epitomize what a Hall of Famer should be. Without question, the highlight of my career as a PGA professional. To Tim Cronin and the entire Hall of Fame committee, thank you for finding me worthy of this recognition, and thank you for your commitment to the Hall. For over 12 years I served on this committee, and I know firsthand how much time and how much hard work goes into this process. Thank you to the Glen Club, especially Mr. Steve Lesnick and Mr. Steve Skinner of Kemper Sports, for the great venue tonight, and for the home for the Illinois Golf Hall of Fame. In my wildest dreams, I never thought I'd be mentioned in the same breath with the likes of Bill Heald, Erie Ball, Tom Bendelow, Bill Sheen Jr., Nan Ryan, Steve Benson, Dick Nugent, Bob Verdi, not to mention Chick Evans, Carol McHugh, Dave Ogilvy, Sherm Finger, Oscar Miles, Joel Hirsch, and the list goes on and on. For all the greats that I have mentioned, and for all those that I have not, your countless contributions have made this game great, not only in Illinois, but throughout this country's golfing community. I look back 4 years ago when Bill Heald nominated me for the Hall. My question to Bill was, why me? How do I meet the criteria, Bill? He answered, and I quote, because of your commitment to the Ivanhoe Club and its membership, because of your ability to mentor fellow PGA professionals, for your years of committee involvement and service to the BGA, because of your slightly above average playing ability, but most of all, because of your ability to balance your career as a PGA professional and still be the consummate husband and father. I simply replied to Bill, thank you, I'm honored. Fast forward into this spring, I was notified by the committee that I was one of the finalists for this possible election into the Hall, and that I would need presenters for the selection night on May 13th. It didn't take me very long to make a couple phone calls and call Mr. Dick Wagley and Mr. Jason Rasmussen. Fortunately for me, after begging and pleading, they both agreed to be presenters, and what a job they did. Dick Wagley, recently retired head professor in the Indian Hill Club for over 30 years. Dick's a longtime friend, great teacher, great player, and is probably his biggest asset of his lovely wife, Mary. And she can really play the game too, by the way. So thanks to Dick and thanks to Mary. To Jason Rasmussen, head professional, North Shore Country Club in Mequon, Wisconsin. Jason was my assistant for 7 years before heading up to Mequon 2 years ago. He was as solid as it gets in all aspects of a golf operation as assistant professional. And Jason always had a really keen sense of style. We often took member groups, as we often still do, to pro-ams in the Illinois PGA, whether it be to Bandon Dunes or to the spring pro-am in Vegas. And Jason always had his team with matching tops and matching bottoms and matching, they were GQ. There's never been an Illinois PGA Pro-Am team look better, finishing next to last in Jason's team. Of course, he knows I'm kidding. Thank you, Dick and Jason, for hitting it out of the park for me on my behalf. I wouldn't be standing here tonight if it weren't for your efforts this past May. You guys are great. There have been several Hall of Famers who over the years have made lasting impressions on me. Unfortunately, I don't have the time to mention all of them, but I'd like to acknowledge just a few of them. Mike Spinello, Hall of Fame 1990. Namaga, Northern Illinois Men's Amateur Golf Association. Mike single-handedly used to run the events for the junior program, and when I was a kid, I remember traveling down to Silver Lake, to Buffalo Grove, to White Pines, to Village Greens in Mundelein, and Mike would single-handedly run the events, and it gave us all, as juniors, an opportunity to play competitive golf. And thanks to Mike, he hooked me on competitive golf when I was just a young person, young kid, young junior golfer, just trying to find a place to play. And thanks to Mike, and he really had a lasting impression on me to play competitive golf. To Dick Nugent, Hall of Fame, 1999. Dick designed Ivanhoe Club. And it was back in the mid-'90s, and we had had some problems on the Forest One green trying to grow grass, and we had a lot of great oak trees around the green and not a lot of air movement and a lot of sunlight. And they asked Dick to come out and take a look at the first green at Ivanhoe on Forest and see if we could make just a little improvement on the green. And Dick came in that day, and he came to the golf shop, and he said, "Jim, could you give me a hand? Can you come out to the first hole with me? I need your expertise." And I'm shaking my head. This is Dick Nugent asking for my expertise. Sure, I'll go. What the heck? We went out to the first green, and we looked at it, and Dick goes, "What do you think, Jim?" And I go, "Well, Dick, to be perfectly honest and all due respect, I think the green's a little small. There's not a lot of pin placements on it. It's a little severe in this spot. I think the green should probably be a little bigger and some flatter spots so we can, have some pin placements. So those few pin placements that we have right now don't get so trampled and beat up." He says, "Great idea, Jim." So Dick Nugent, thank you for asking me for my expertise. And Ivanhoe is a great club, and we're very proud of it. To Mr. Joel Hirsch, Hall of Fame, 1999. Twice the low amateur in the Senior British Open. Runner-up in the British Senior Amateur. 23 years as a Radis Cup player. I get a phone call in the golf shop, and my assistant answers the phone, and they said, "Jim, there's a Mr. Joel Hirsch on the phone. He likes to speak to you." I said, "Sure, Joel Hirsch, sure. I'd love to talk to Joel." He says, "Jimmy, how you doing?" I said, "Joel, what can I do for you? What's up?" He says, "Jim, I need a putting lesson." And I go, this guy is the best putter in the world. He's asking me for a putting lesson. I can't make it from here to that screen, and he's calling me up for a putting lesson. So I said, "Joel, come on out. I'd love to work with you." He came out. We worked on his putting. He said, recommendations on a putter. We talked about equipment. He left that day, and I felt really good about it. He called me up in a few days later. He said, "Jim, I'm putting so much better, and thanks for the, for the recommendation on getting a new putter." And I tell you, Joel, you made my day. You made my year. Joel Hirsch calling me up for a putting lesson. Thanks, Joel. Thank you to these four gentlemen, all the Hall of Famers, for their lasting impressions you've made on me and others. To my special group of PGA professionals that I hang around with, whether it be in tournaments, the PGA show, at national tournaments, at Pro-Ams, they're really my best friends in golf. We've solved many a problem over the years, over a couple of Bud Lights or a glass or two of Cabernet after golf. And I'd like to acknowledge several of them. First of all, one of my mentors, and one of the reasons I'm at Ivanhoe, Mr. Mike Harrigan. I remember the day, it was in the winter of 1989, I think it was February. Mike was right on the cusp of getting the head professional job at Medina. He called me up, he says, "Jim, I think I might get that job at Medina, and if I do, I've recommended you to get the job at Thorngate." And I said, "I'd love to." So sure enough, Mike gets the job. I get the call. They interview three of us. One of them is in the Hall of Fame too, and I get the job, and I started at Thorngate in April of '89, and 27 years later, I'm still with the club. So thanks to Mike, I'm still at Thorngate/Ivanhoe and loving it. To my good friend, head professional at Biltmore, Doug Bauman. He beats me like a drum every time. But Doug, thanks for your friendship. To Jimmy Holmes, I don't think Jim's here tonight, but the head professional, retired recently from Ravinia. Of course, to Mr. Dick Wagley, recently retired head professional, Indian Hill. To Gary Groh, Bobolink. To Mr. Steve Benson, fellow Hall of Famer. Steve's down in Florida, can't be here tonight, but great friend. To Mr. Terry Russell, head professional. at Bryn Mawr, and to John Schickling, head professional at Rolling Green. These guys are my dear friends, and like I say, we've solved every problem from A to Z, and we continue to do that. So thank you for your friendship and all the great times, and may there be many more. Thank you to the Ivanhoe Club and its members for 25 plus years. You've given me the opportunity to do what I love best, and that's lead a golf operation, and I can't thank you more. There are many here tonight from the club, so I can't mention everybody. I want to mention a few. To Ivanhoe Club President, Mr. Tom O'Donnell and his wife, Flana. To Ivanhoe Club Vice President, Mr. Dennis Marchetti and his wife, Nadia. To the Ivanhoe Club Golf Chair, Mr. John Arnott and his wife, Jeanette. To past President, Mr. Bill Lutz and his wife, Sue. To past President, Mr. Frank Mariani, and I know Sherry couldn't be here tonight, but I know she'd love to. But thank you to all these gentlemen and to all the Ivanhoe Club members who are here tonight for all your support, not only tonight, but over the last 25 plus years. To my current staff, and like Lean, I'm going to have these people stand up because they're really why we do it as well as we do at Ivanhoe. And I'd like them to stand up, please, and hold your applause because there's a few of them. First of all, PGA member, Ferris State grad in PGM, Ryan Jenkins. PGA member, Ferris State grad, PGM, Tony Simonik. PGA member, Sue Anderson. Our outside service director and caddy master, Victor Flores. Our merchandiser, Beth King. And our PGM intern from Ferris State, Brandon Hawkins. These are the people that really make Ivanhoe tick, and I want to thank them right here. To my family, my sister Mary Lou and her husband Jim and their daughter Melanie, thank you for your support over the years. My sister Mary Lou, she's my older sister, and she treats me like a younger brother. To my brother Dan, who came in from Kansas City, drove in last night, and I know he's got to leave first thing in the morning. Dan, thanks. Thanks for your job in 1995. Dan caddied for me in the 1995 PGA Championship at Riviera Country Club, and I think our highlight of the week was on Wednesday when we got to play a practice round with Payne Stewart, and he still refers back to that, and we had a great time at Riviera that week, and thanks for Dan for being here. My sister Judy and her husband Mark couldn't be here. They're out of the country, but to their daughter Michelle and Mike and their other daughter Liz and Kenny, thanks for being here tonight. To my cousin Arlene and Denny Meyer from Thorpe, Wisconsin. Don't hold it against them, they're Packer fans, but we're glad you're here tonight. To my mother-in-law and father-in-law, Jim and Rose Ewan from Tucson, Arizona. They got trapped last night at O'Hare, but they finally got in here last night. So thank you for coming from Tucson and just being supportive of our whole family over the years. Of course, to my parents, Jim and Louise. My dad passed away 4 years ago, but he was my biggest fan and my best critic. And I wish he was here tonight, but I know he's looking down and I know he's proud. To my mom, who's not here tonight, she's 92, couldn't be here tonight, but she's a little under the weather, but she's the one that drove me to White Pines and to Buffalo Grove and to all the golf course and to Palatine Hills when I was a junior, and she dropped me off at 7 in the morning and picked me up at 7 at night, and she said, you know, just play golf and enjoy yourself. And thank you to my folks for giving me the opportunity to play in athletics, whether it be with football or basketball or golf or baseball, and I played them all because I just love to compete. So thanks to my folks. To our son Ryan. Ryan flew in last night from Birmingham Southern College. We're very proud of Ryan. He's a senior majoring in music. He's the captain of the lacrosse team, Division III, NCAA Division III team. Thanks, Ryan, for being here tonight. And he caddied for me in the 2013 United States Senior Open at Omaha Country Club, and we never had more fun. And I'll tell you what about my son. You know, I said, where do you want to go to dinner tonight? You know, there's got to be great steak joints here in Omaha. He said, no, Dad, I already looked it up. I found 3 or 4 great sushi joints tonight. So we're going for sushi. In Omaha, we're eating sushi, not steak. But it was fine. It was fine. It was fine. To our daughter, Abby Sobb, who came in last night from Ole Miss. Hotty toddy, Ab. For all those Ole Miss, I know, where's Denny? Where's Dennis? Hotty toddy, Dennis. Ole Miss. Hotty toddy. Abby's a sports marketing major and also an intern for the Blackhawks. She wants to work for the Blackhawks so bad, but who doesn't? She loves Jonathan Taves and all those guys, so, you know, thanks for Abby for being here. My wife, Tina, who's my inspiration every day, who all these years on the Saturdays and Sundays and all the other days we're driving the kids around and taking all the activities, and the only thing that I apologize for is never being able to do that summer vacation to the Rocky Mountains or to the Badlands or wherever. But they were very, very supportive. And Tina, thanks for everything you've done for me and being there at my side. And me calling at 5 o'clock and said I'll be home in an hour, and 2.5 hours later I show up and she said no problem. That's what you do, and we love what you do. So thanks to Tina and my family. In closing, I'd like to leave you with a quote from the great Arnold Palmer. Golf is deceptively simple and endlessly complicated. It satisfies the soul and it frustrates the intellect. It is at the same time rewarding and maddening, and it is, without a doubt, the greatest game mankind has ever invented. Thank you, and may the golfing gods bless you. Good night.